Welcome to What's Your Story, where we, Jamie Marco,
and Stan Brown,
delve into the extraordinary lives of everyday people.
Listen in as we uncover the unique tales that shape who we are,
one story at a time.
Hey, let's get ready to explore today's story.
Let's do it. Welcome back to another episode of What's Your Story? Hi, Dad.
Happy today. And
Yes.
they don't know what today is.
Well, and we don't know when they're listening to it.
Today, though. It's always today. If it's now.
Yeah, you know what's kind of interesting is that we get the statistics of where people listen to us from and when they listen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can see it. Guess what the highest ranked time and day is that people watch our episode?
I think it's probably from the kitchen.
No, I don't know that.
Probably in their cars. You said time of the day or day?
Time of day.
I'd say probably 5:30.
AM, PM, what are you going?
Oh, I'm close. I'm going PM.
No. 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on Tuesdays. Isn't that interesting?
It makes no sense to me.
I know. I mean, I don't know what it is about Tuesdays that people, we normally drop the episodes and not normally, the episodes do drop on a Tuesday. So if they subscribe, they're probably getting a notification about that.
So like a restaurant, we should actually offer a special on the days they don't listen to us, which really is never probably.
So I want to
get a free, if you're not listening to us, you get a free dessert that day.
Reach out. If you're listening to this episode and you want a free dessert, I will send you one. All you have to do is email us at connect@jamiemarco.com and we will send you a free dessert. All right. So I wanted to kind of talk about this thing that we both heard this week. We know about the 6 degrees of separation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain to our audience the 6 degrees of separation, please?
I didn't prep for this.
Well, you don't need to.
It's kind of a rule that shows that we're all connected to some degree, mostly 6 degrees, from other people, maybe someone famous like Kevin Bacon.
Yes, it started with him because I guess he was like one of the actors that was in the most movies in the 80s. And so every actor allegedly could be connected back to him through 6 other different connections.
So if I eat turkey bacon, I'm connected?
I can't. That pause was not in your audio team. That was a pause in my reaction being like, really? I never know something come out of your mouth.
That makes 2 of us.
Anyway, so I Googled it because who doesn't love Googling it? And it said that there was a Facebook study on the degrees of separation. Okay, so it said in 2016, researchers at Facebook, now Meta, as we all know, found a much shorter average degree of separation amongst its users than the Milgram's famous 6 degrees. The study found that 1.55 billion people active on Facebook, the average number of steps separating any 2 people was only 3.57.
Come on.
It said 99.6% of all pairs of users were connected by paths of 5 steps, 6 hops, and 92% were connected by just 4 steps.
Test this.
I don't know. We might have to do it with our guest today. And it said that Mark Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook, was only 3.17 degrees of separation away from all other Facebook users. That means that there's 3 connections from either one of us that would be able to connect back to Mark Zuckerberg.
How about the guys he stole the technology from?
All right, we're going to stop there.
Roommates, big story. Talk to us, please. Let's put you on.
All right. Why don't we let our guest in? There we go. Let's just let our guest in instead. How do you think about that?
Zuckerberg today? Is it him?
It is not Zuckerberg. Maybe in the future, you don't know. If we're 3.17 degrees away, we could get him.
Could it be Ahmed?
No. Oh my gosh, that's a joke based. Okay, don't what is the word I'm thinking? Don't confuse my dad's answer.
Silence! I like you.
Okay, what's that from? What's his name?
Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham, exactly. All right, let's let our guest in. All right, here we go. Let's let our guest in and talk with our guest. We're so excited.
Lisa, are you there? Are you in the green room, Lisa?
She'll be there soon. And we tried so hard to get Lisa on the podcast.
Hello.
She's off mute too. She's a professional. I love it. Hi.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello. Hey, it's so amazing to see you. Hello, Dad.
Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Dad, Stan. Stan, that's Lisa.
I'm good. I'm
So,
good.
Lisa,
Is this okay? Is the sunlight bad? You need me to move?
First of all, listener, if you're not on YouTube and you're only listening, Lisa's background, I would like to jump into your video because it looks so serene and so where are you?
Yeah, it's my side porch. It's my little piece of yeah.
Tranquility.
That
Yeah, yeah. And
a
over
side
there is the bird feeder. If you follow me when I talk about my yellow birds, my goldfinches, that's where they go.
That's
So
so cool. You know, it's so funny. We live in Florida. You are not, we'll talk about where you are in a minute. But I wanted a bird feeder. So we bought one and we put it on my kitchen window.
Aldrin, don't do it. Don't do
But it was like amazing that we had a male and a female cardinal, and we had all, and like they were all there. There's some bird fights. I mean, I was literally like the bird crazy lady. It was amazing.
yeah.
And then we close our blinds at night. And one night I was like, I hear something out there. And I opened the window. There was a freaking rat sitting in there. Yeah, we
it.
first of all, we were talking about the rat. We used to have a squirrel that would come up, and the squirrel would eat the food, and we could get. It was like National Geographic. It was so amazing.
Oh,
So then one night, I was like, "Oh, the squirrel's out there. It's pretty late. It was like 9 o'clock at night, and I opened. It was a rat, and I was like, good, gross."
Yeah.
And so we
Yeah.
ended up getting rid of it because the rat chewed through. I mean, it was just sad. But you have yours far away, and you don't have those problems.
Yeah, we don't. Well, not that I know of. We now have a camera on it, but so maybe I don't want to know what happens. But yeah, yeah.
Amazing. Well, we're so happy. I know it was like kind of hard getting you on. We are recording, we are live. So first of all, before we get started, we like to ask all of our guests the same question to kind of get a feel for where you are.
Have you
So,
ever had a UFO
no,
experience?
not that question.
That's later.
All right. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, today, what's your number? 10 being it's the best day you've ever had. And seeing that you're at your side porch, the sun, it looks amazing. So, I'm
That's actually the original green screen.
yeah. All the way down to a 1 where it's a day that you shouldn't be peopling. What's your number today?
So first of all, I'm going to say, is the noise bothering you? Do you hear the noise? Because of course now they are
What
mowing
noise?
the lawn.
Zoom is so good about canceling out background noise. Like sometimes we
I'm gonna
laugh, it doesn't even
I'm gonna
count.
put you in my head for my sake. Then, yeah.
We
See
can't,
if
yeah,
that
we
helps.
cannot hear it. You're good.
Sometimes it cancels me out, but that's okay with her.
All right, so what's your number?
My number. Ah, whew. I'm gonna go into my body and
Hmm.
my heart, and also my aspirations. And I'm just gonna say 9.2.
Ooh.
Pushing myself here. Yeah,
Is
I'm
that
just gonna
typical
be
for
a
you, or
9.2.
is that
Uh,
typical, or is it extraordinary today?
I was gonna say more than you need to know about me, but you're interviewing me, so I guess I am gonna say that. It's I am a person about joy. I live for joy. I learn joy. My keynote is about self-care, self-love. We can talk about that and joy. And I fly high in it, hence my yellow birds. And there's a lot of really hard stuff going on for me, and there has been. The universe has such a great sense of humor for a while. So it is typical, but it's hard earned,
Gotcha.
intentional.
Doesn't come easy.
And especially now, I was like, let's just make the choice and go for it and not let the other stuff be
Excellent.
be predominant in my head. So yeah, but yeah. If you hear my story when I start the keynote, I start not in a good moment. And I've learned to be like, I didn't expect that in a keynote about joy. But yeah, I love to talk about neuroplasticity. I've rewired my brain to be joyful. So
That's
long, just
incredible.
so you know, I give long answers to most questions. I've been doing this for a while, so I will try not to if it
Well,
gets in
we
the
can get
way.
a
But
couple
yeah.
of tips on how to increase our neuroplasticity today, maybe.
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely. I
Couple
wouldn't
of
be here
couple
without
hacks.
it.
Well, and you can answer, it's your story, not ours. So we're happily going to have you answer all those questions. Our follow-up question is normally, what would it take for you to go 0.25 higher?
Oh, she's
So 9.2, but I'm just curious, but it gives us really insight into like what is something going on in your world that would take you up a notch. So what would that be today to happen?
Um, well, I have a few things that will lined up, but let's see what's not there. A couple yellow birds, another keynote on my calendar. I just did one on Wednesday where, people change. People cracked open their minds and their hearts and make commitments to themselves and their lives. And what is better than that? So the more chances I get to do that, that is really, really, and then made a sticker of my tattoo that says first most always, which is my keynote. They made a beautiful sticker. So yeah,
love
So
that.
yeah, more of that would be really, really cool. But other than that, I'm just gonna breathe and
Sounds good to
take in
me.
the sunshine. The sunshine gets me joy, right?
Yeah. So
And
tell
I
us.
did bring two with me. Here's one. This
Oh,
is a really ugly candle my younger child gave me.
a yellow
Uh,
bird. Is that a candle? It's a
it's a
candle?
candle. It's a really ugly yellow bird candle. I have like 50 yellow
Okay.
birds. I've bought two of them. And this is a pen case
Ooh,
that my older child gave me, which is also a yellow bird. So
I
I
love
bring them with
that.
me.
What kind
There
of
they are.
birds are the yellow birds?
They're
Which
yellow birds. Come
They're
on.
they're goldfinches. They're goldfinches. Oh, I
ah,
know they're goldfinches. I adore them, which is a line of my keynote. So sorry.
are they native to
Yep.
where? I mean, tell our listeners where you are right now. That you're.
I am outside of Philadelphia, but I'm from New York. I'm native to New York, but I'm outside of Philadelphia, and they are native. I mean, a lot of places. They're probably also in Florida because I've gone into South America and they're there too. But they're just the little yellow, black and white, black and white, little yellow and black birds that they're about this big and they have this really sweet voice and they fly like this and they're just the yellow is just so beautiful that they become my joy.
I just
Man,
saw
it's
one
amazing
behind
that you don't actually
you.
hear this. Yeah. Did you see one?
Yeah, I just saw
See?
one fly out of the tree. Yeah, I just saw one fly out of the tree. That's so
Exactly.
cool. So, and
Exactly.
are
Yeah.
they, I know that cardinals are sometimes symbolic of loved ones that have passed. Are yellowbirds symbolic of anything? No.
No, so the story neuroplasticity. Many years ago, when I was going through a really hard time, I decided that every time I saw one, I would be okay. It would be okay. It was all okay. And I still remember my mom going, "Well, you got to wait for them to come to you." And I'm like, "No, no, I'm going to go find them." And like my bird feeder has goldfinch bird food, but I decided that. So this is neuroplasticity. I decided that, and so every time I saw one, I got excited, and I got excited, and I looked for them, and I got excited, and it just I did it so often that like about a week ago, I saw yellow paint on the sidewalk and I was like, yes, the universe loves me. There's yellow graffiti on the sidewalk. And
I
that
love
is
that.
neuroplasticity. That is intentionally creating something that rewires our brain to something positive. Yeah.
I love that. Well, so listener Lisa and I met, as you can already tell, she's a speaker. So we are fellow colleagues in the speaking world, and we met at a conference and instantly just like loved her. Like her energy, everything that was there is incredible. And then we both had an opportunity to kind of get on stage and kind of talk about some stuff. And there was a couple of different things that she just kind of leaned into, or not even leaned into, but like tipped off that I was like, wait a second, there's a much deeper story. And so then we didn't really talk about it much at the conference, but you sent me your book. And so I've had the opportunity to read your book and know your story. I briefed my dad a little bit, but not too much because I wanted it to really be more authentic that he learns it here. So let's dive into that. You were born in New
Yeah.
York, right? You were born in New York.
I was born in New Jersey, but right outside of New York. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some people tell me I'm not really a New Yorker, but I
Oh,
am.
the
I
naysayers, forget about it.
Let them, right? As Mel Robbins would say, let
let
them be
them,
them, right?
let them,
Yeah, let
let
them be
them.
them. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so you have, a lot of your journey has been about your childhood and how you grew up, and you've had a really unique upbringing, which has, and correct me if I'm wrong, but haunted you later in life as well too, as you started to navigate some of those uh, traumas that you went through as a child. They've kind of stayed around. I would imagine you mentioned earlier today that some things have been kind of going on deeper, darker. I don't know if it ties back to that, but share with us a little bit about where your story started and how you got to today, and we'll ask questions along the way.
Okay, so I will give the line first because I have a great line. So the best seats I ever had at Madison Square Garden were at my mother's wedding because my mom got married on July 1st, 1982, along with 2,074 other couples in Madison Square Garden. I grew up, and if you maybe your dad is old enough to know what that means, Stan. But yeah, so yeah, I grew up in the Unification Church, the Moonies. Yeah, I grew up in a cult. I was best friends with Moon's kids. Like I was, it. He was my Messiah. He was the Messiah. And on the other hand, the best cocaine I ever had was from my father's friend, the judge. And yes, he really was a judge. And yes, it was actually really good cocaine. So that's it was like I still remember one time my after the church boyfriend and I are sitting there and he's like, kids, you have anything to do? We're like, no, and he gives like takes out this big tablespoon and a big bag and he's like, thunk, thunk, have a good time. And that's the
How old are you?
mine. So the cocaine I was 19.
Okay. All
I
right.
was 19. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
The
so
joining the church I was 10. My mom joined when when I was 10. Yeah.
And
So
you, so she kind of, so for those that didn't hear you, so you were part of a cult, and the cult back then was called, remind our leaders or listeners again what it was called.
it was the Unification Church or the Moonies, and they're still here, but they do have a different name now. Yeah. Yeah.
And so up until the age of 10, I did read your book. You kind of lived a life of chaos as well too, where you
Yeah. Yeah.
had a mom and a dad that didn't always get along, didn't always connect. You were living a little bit in poverty at the time as well too, and your parents were struggling to raise you and your brother, right?
Well, so they actually split up. So they were babies having babies. They met in high school, got pregnant, got married, had my brother, had me, split up kind of thing. And they were hippies. It was the 60s. And so they were living separately. My mom just being a searcher in so many ways, and my dad just being a hippie in so many ways. And but yeah, it was a lot of um there was violence. Part of what I've uncovered recently. After please, you can't hear this noise. It's great. And I so apologize, but it's the only place to do this
You can't
right
hear any
now.
of it. You're fine.
Perfect. There was violence. I more than I need to know. First time I'm saying this out loud. I have recently uncovered some. It's pretty hefty molestation, and you're like, "Yay, it's not my dad, so I'm okay," kind of thing. I told my mom. She said that makes sense. So by the time we got to the church, it actually was a haven
Right.
because of all the insanity of whatever we experienced. So yeah, and then the story goes to make it shorter. We joined, and we were at that point. My mother, brother, and I were living with my grandfather, and my mom sat us down one day and said, "I really feel compelled to be more involved. What do the two of you think I should do?" And we said, "You should actually leave and go move into the church and
Hmm.
go do God's will and serve the Messiah." And so she did.
Yeah.
Um,
Leaving you
and I
behind
was
in a not great
leaving us
house.
behind. And yeah, so I was 11. My brother was 12, and I was doing the shopping, the cooking, the cleaning, while also starring in the school play and really doing well academically. And so we lived with my grandfather for a little while, and then the over responsible me, and sometimes going in to see my mom on the weekends, and she would never cry because she wasn't supposed to show us that it was bad to leave. And I felt so guilty for missing her, like the guilt of missing you're not allowed, yeah, you're not allowed to have it. The shame, the sadness. And then my grandfather suffered a nervous breakdown of sorts, and he was hospitalized. And they pulled us out of school and shuffled us around, and someone went to go get my mom, and she said, and I've been learning to say that this is a public service announcement, don't say this. She said, "Not my problem,"
Mm.
and didn't come back. And then finally my dad found out what was going on, and he came and got us, and he moved us into New York City to live with him. And then we lived this split life of every available time at the church with Moon's kids, following the Messiah, believing God's will, saving the earth, saving God's heart, and but living with Satan, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and all that entailed. So I once said to my brother, "How did we go back and forth between these two worlds?" And he said, "I don't know. I wasn't there." Like he just was like a kind of
Yeah.
thing. So yeah. So
Well, when you read
that's it
your
in a
book,
nutshell.
I mean, when you read your book and you read about that, like you really do, it's so descriptive of that experience of how when you were
Yeah.
with your mom, what you were experiencing, then when you would go back with your dad, as a mother of a 10-year-old, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot even
Yeah.
imagine how you were experiencing that. You were scared of some of your dad's friends for what they might do to you. And it sounds
Mhm.
like some of that has come out later in life and you suppressed maybe some of that. So,
Yeah, it was actually my mom's violent boyfriend when I was way, way, way young. But yeah, but I did suppress it. Like, yeah, I totally had no idea. And then had some idea. Sorry, I just totally interrupted you.
you're okay.
Some idea in 2009 when I started for my body was doing things, and I started doing real trauma work. But the depth of it, I'm only strong enough to handle it now. So the depth of it has really come out in the
Lisa,
last
did the
couple
Reverend
of months.
speak English? How did he communicate?
He spoke very little English. He had an interpreter. So he
So,
would be like kicking and screaming in Korean, and Colonel Bohi
so
Pak
because
would
his
interpret
reach
for him.
was so extensive in the country, he must have had lieutenants or captains in different parts of the sector now. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
We were all over the
what was his
country. Yeah.
what was the main tenet of his philosophy? Just to serve me?
Well, I mean, I can say that now, but at the time, no. So it's a mixture of Judeo-Christian philosophy and then Eastern philosophy wrapped in. And the main tenet is that Adam and Eve were supposed to grow to perfection and have the kingdom of heaven on earth in heaven because it was one thing. But Eve was seduced, had sex with Lucifer, the angel, and then seduced Adam, had sex with Adam before they were supposed to, and hence the fall of man. And God's heart was broken and has been broken for 6,000 years. And he sent Jesus, but Jesus wasn't able to fulfill his mission of building the kingdom of heaven on earth. Instead, he was killed. And so the Messiah had to come again. And when you look at all the numbers and really really look at it and are very smart about it, you realize the truth is that the Messiah had to come from Korea somewhere between 1920 and 1930. What do you know? So, and he never actually declared himself the Messiah, but it just, but I will say, in somewhere in the 80s, he and his wife, Hak Jahan, were crowned emperor and empress of the universe in a congressional room by Congress people.
By our Congress people?
By our Congress
It
people.
sounds like a
Yep.
classic adult film.
That's
Yes.
insane.
Yes. Insane.
How
But
many?
that's the pull and the brilliance of the evilness that they
Legitimized
did.
him,
Yeah.
sure. Oh,
Yeah, he's been legitimized. I will tell you that definitely almost every Republican leader now and back has spoken at church gatherings and events and stuff because they get paid a lot of money. Yeah, so they're totally legitimized, especially now by the right and the far right.
is he alive today or
Absolutely.
no?
No, he died probably about book was 2018, probably like 2015 or 16, something like that. He died a while ago. But
Still followers at that time?
yeah, and there still are now. So the church broke into three factions. One faction is led by Hak Jahan, his wife, who is now the true Eve and has like this humongous gold statue built of her.
Where?
Um, in Korea, that one's in Korea. And then his oldest living son, because many of his children died. One OD'd, one committed suicide. It was hard to be their kids. I will always say that. His oldest living son is like leading a faction, and he and the mom fought about the money and stuff. And then the youngest living son runs a faction called Sanctuary Church. You may have read about them. They're the ones he wears like the crown of bullets, and he says the rod of iron.
Oh,
There you go. He says the rod of iron in the Bible is a gun, and they carry AR-14s into their services, and he trains his people to kill. And he has bought land in Tennessee and somewhere else where they train white supremacists,
Ooh.
and who maybe one day he'll realize that the white supremacists will realize he's not white, but that's a whole different story. And so what I say, and one day they'll hear this and maybe not like it, but as soon as he says kill the fill in the blanks,
Yeah.
fill it in with whatever you want. Because when you
Well,
know it's God's will,
yeah.
you clearly, we've seen people do it. You will do
Yeah.
it. So yeah.
How many
So
people, when you were back in the day, how many followers would you say there were?
Oh, lots. Ooh.
I mean, I don't actually know the numbers, and the numbers are probably exaggerated, but it was huge in America. It was huge in Japan, huge in Korea, and all over the world, absolutely all over Europe, all over Africa. We had missionaries going everywhere. So
They were
it
Moonies.
was a lot.
Now
They're
And then
Moonies. They were on every street corner. Yeah.
what about today? What do you say? What would you say the followers are today?
I would say, I mean, it's diminished because they don't proselytize the same way, but they have babies. Right. But many were called second gens, those of us born or raised. And many of them have left, but not enough. So I mean, I forget what they say their numbers are. I don't actually know what their numbers are, but they're still, I used to say they're just living next door to you. You just don't know. They're like all over. Yeah. All over.
Is
And then
there
they're the dangerous
fear?
ones. Yeah.
Is there
Sorry.
fear that you have of talking about it now that they may take it the wrong way?
If they haven't found me yet,
Yeah.
like, it, very long story short, best friends with Moon's one of his daughters.
And she
And
defected as
then
well too, for lack of a better.
no. Well, one did, but not this one. Some have, but she did not. This one is in the fold. But I never meant to reconnect with her. But when I reconnected with people, I reconnected with her. I can tell the soap opera story of when I was never allowed near her anymore. But so when I reconnected and we were kind of close, and I was trying to figure out how to be friends with her, and then I had cancer in 2022, and she wanted to come see me, and she didn't. It never happened, and then finally she saw me after the cancer. She and another friend that I grew up with, and Bruce, my husband, was like, "Don't give them your address. Don't give them your address," because they wanted to come visit. And I'm like, if they want to find me, they can find me. Like, it's not like giving my address to this person to Engine will let them now know where I am. I'm very easy to find. So, I mean, no one has ever said anything at all to me about what I do. I will say that the last time I saw her, I was questioning how I could be friends with her because she still believes, it's like a very torn thing. But about a week after I saw her, the How to Become a Cult Leader documentary was released, and I am in it. And so then, yes, she has never talked to me since. And also because if you're ever in a documentary, careful, because when they cut out and they take whatever you
Yeah,
say and use it
sure.
the way they want to. Yeah. So I said it was really, I talk about how hard it is to be them, but they took a quote about how something about I said about Moon's children and they used it out of context. And so, yeah, she will never talk to me again, which is probably good, but sad, but good. So
Yeah. And they must.
again, long answers. It's like all complicated. Yeah.
No, but and so I would imagine a lot of and maybe I'm wrong here, but when it comes to cults, obviously they want those followers, but also there's a monetary connection as well too. So people are giving to the church. So their family with this big statue must have made out pretty well. So she's probably like a socialite living in a world where is that an accurate description?
So when he died, he was the wealthiest religious leader ever, almost $1 billion.
Wow.
Oh,
Because
Johnny
of, so
died.
if you
Wow.
think lots of businesses, doesn't pay taxes because it's a religious in the States, doesn't pay taxes because it's a religious institution. Many members who live in poverty and work for free and go out and raise funds and give everything to it. So yeah, so the Moons live in incredible privilege, and members live in incredible poverty, many of them. And there's like, of course, there's a spectrum of like how important you are and how much you have and stuff. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it definitely is. It's when I left, I still believed. I know many people who've left and weren't believing at the time, but the and I had a whole different process until I actually when my memoir came out, I found the cult survivor community and especially the community of second gens, those of us born and raised, and I finally was like, whoa. I've been in therapy and recovery for a long time, and I was like, whoa, what they did to my brain, right? So everything is like since then.
When you got
But
out, was
I
it just you or some with an associate?
just me, just me. I cold turkey all by myself.
Thought
Just
your brother
yeah.
did it as well too?
My brother left about, see, if I started leaving in like my freshman year of college, my brother, when he was in his just after the senior year of college, so mine started in 81 ish. It took a long time. He graduated college in 83 and he sat my mom down and said, "That's it, I'm out." And I like to say I've never actually said that to my mother. Like clearly I'm not in, but I would my Robbie is like, you just slowly drifted away. I just kind of like went like
Yeah.
this.
Where
Yeah.
did you go?
I just stopped going to church centers and yeah, so, but I also self-punished incredibly for breaking God's heart, like failing the Messiah. Yeah,
And while you were
that, I
growing
mean,
up, while you were living with, going back and forth with your parents, I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember you saying that you weren't indulging in the drugs and the alcohol during that time. But then when you talk about self-loathing, that's when that kind of creeped in as you left the church, where you felt
yeah,
this was the
yeah.
only way to self-medicate, right?
Well, I don't think I thought that. But so yeah, well, I'm going to backtrack even before the church just to give you more sense. My father, Danny, had my brother smoking pot at the age of 10 because he thought it would be cool. And my brother's proudest moment at that time was once out smoking my father and his friends.
Mm.
But no, I never indulged. I was always this like really like
Goody two
goody
shoes
two
almost.
shoes kid.
Yeah.
Totally, totally, totally.
Yeah.
And then in the church, it's I mean, it's very hypocritical. It's very puritanical. There is no drugs. There is no premarital sex. There is no extramarital sex. There is no alcohol unless you're Moon's people. It means kids and stuff, but the normal person does not. And yeah, so then when I left, that's when when I started pulling away, that's when I started drinking a little bit, and then yeah, and then I was yeah, the cocaine started in yeah, I smoked pot for a while, but my problem is I always keep up with people, and Jamie has met me. I'm almost 4'10" now on a good day. And I wasn't always this small, but I've always been tiny, and I always keep up with people. So I'd smoke pot and be like under the table, paranoid, but or weed, as they say now. But I'm old. And but I yeah, when I was in
When you say grass, you're really
Scotland,
old.
grass. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it was grass when I was a kid. It was grass. You're absolutely right. It was grass, right? Thank you. That's true. So when I went to I did a semester in Stirling, Scotland in my junior year, and when I came back, my boyfriend Adam had started dealing coke. And that's about when I started, or maybe I started before with my dad, but that's when it was just like, I mean, I was wake up in the morning, my dad would still, Danny would still be up doing lines, and I would do a line and then go work waitressing at 7 o'clock in the morning. So it was, but the amazing thing, I won't say about me, but the amazing thing is I skirted disaster. Like I nearly jumped off a bridge, but I didn't. I stopped eating and I was about 30, more than 30 pounds less than I am today. And then I started, well, I didn't, I finally eventually started eating again. I did a hell of a lot of cocaine. And then one day I was like, you're waking up and looking for this, you need to stop. And then I just got in really bad relationships and got engaged to an alcoholic and was like, tell me if it's an alcoholic. There's no way I would ever be an alcoholic. And didn't marry him. And that was the first step of like, maybe I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think you started your talk off, and that's what we're saying. I almost jumped off a bridge. I think that's where you.
Yeah, I start my keynote standing on the bridge in Cornell, desperately wanting to go. I did it was better to die than to make the choice. I didn't want to be there, and the shame, not like the guilt, the like God has had his heart broken for 6,000 years. Every single person has let God down. Like, how can I let God down too? How could I possibly do this? Like, this is the Messiah, and I'm saying I'm too weak and tired and selfish to do this. So
Who talked you
it,
off the
it is an
bridge?
easier choice to jump. It is an easier choice to jump than to say I won't do this.
Who
It
talked you off the
was
bridge?
me. I was alone. I just
Nighttime?
didn't.
Nighttime?
No, I was coming home. I had a job off campus, I think freshman year, in a nursery school, and I was just walking back, and it was like I just didn't want to, and then I didn't jump, and I kept going, and then I wrote to like I had people in the church who loved me, who were my anchors, who were also really, really, really not good for me. But I wrote to a couple people, and that's when I finally just just started slowly drifting away. Slowly drifting. And again, it was the 80s, right? There was nothing more hated in 1981 than the Moonies. Like
Why was that? Like, what
nothing.
was it? Why were they so hated? And like, what was it about that?
So they were everywhere. They were known for no, you join and you have no contact with your family. Like, you cut them all off because they're all evil and satanic. You give all your money, you give all your time, you disappear. There were so many court cases of parents trying to take away the kids' rights, their adult rights, so they could take the kids. Parents kidnap kids to deprogram them.
They were very
Like
public
Mooney,
image. They were what a cult is. They were the cult.
yeah, they were just all over, and they were a cult, and people were terrified of losing their children to the Moonies because then you lost your children for good.
You said earlier that you're part of a recovery program for people that are in cults.
Mhm.
So, and I know you have your own children now today. I'm curious as to like well, I've got a couple of different, so many questions. But, these parents are trying to keep their kid from a cult. What do you think it is? Like, what would you tell families or people that are, there's so many cults out there. We've seen tragedy after tragedy with some ways that cults have ended lives. And, what would you say are some of the telltale signs that someone might be leaning into a cult, but also how to keep them from going down that path? And I don't know if you have that.
So I have a bunch of things that may or may not get exactly what you want. So what I say is everyone is susceptible. Like, we have to change our minds that only the weak get caught up, right? It, someone said to me, if you're not a sociopath, psychopath, or already in a cult, you're susceptible because To quote Mark Vicente in the Vow, the documentary about Nixium, the sex cult, no one joins a cult. They join a really good idea, and then they realize they were, excuse me, with the F. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on your show or not. So yeah, but that
Yeah,
was his.
yeah, you can say it. Yeah, it's fine.
Then they realized they were fucked, right? So it doesn't look like a cult on the outside. One, we are all susceptible because as human animals, we crave purpose, certainty, and community. Absolute purpose. God's will on earth. What a beautiful idea. One human race, right? Certainty. When you have the truth, it is the most I've done drugs. It's the most intoxicating drug to know that you have the absolute truth. And as long as you don't leave community, you will never replace. Ever
Accepted.
replace.
Yeah.
Acceptance. So we all need this. So, and it just takes being in the wrong time, in the wrong place, meeting the wrong person in the wrong frame of mind, and they say something easy to you, and you're like, well, that sounds good. And they know how to slowly, it's like the foot in the door. It's like our brain works against us because they give us a little something and we believe it. And they're like, well, we believe that, so we should believe this, so there are all these mind techniques to bring you in based on the brain. The most important thing, if someone gets involved or is involved, do not lose touch with them. Do not tell them it's wrong. Do not scream at them. Do not because as soon as you come out them that what they're doing is wrong,
Catch
you
on.
will lose them.
Sure.
And they didn't used to know that. You will absolutely lose them. So now I have people who work with families who have family members in cults or friends in cults, and they're like, so you go to the cult and you buy them all dinner and you hang out and you have a good day. Like you keep a human connection
Yeah.
because as soon as you say that is so wrong, you will lose that person.
It's funny you say that. There's a Netflix documentary. There's a bunch of them. I've not watched the one you talked about the cult, but I'd
Yeah,
like to get the link for that to watch that. But there's the one about the dancers that are on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it.
yeah, yeah.
And what happened there to where her sister, as soon as they started telling they were wrong, they lost complete connection, and that was it. Exactly what you're saying.
Absolutely, absolutely. What we want to do, like what are you thinking? And you just
Yeah.
the touch of the mind is so strong that you can't win that way. So if you think someone is going there, you want to stay connected with them and you want to, without judging them, reinforce like what they already know or what connections they already have. Because I mean, we were literally taught that if you ever question anything, it's Satan inside you.
Mm.
But I know I had a client who was in, excuse me, as I call one of those self-actualization ones. This is what the brain does. But she was in, and they said, if you're questioning anything, it's your monkey mind, turn it off, right? So there's so many ways to teach us not to listen to ourselves. So anything you could do to help someone remember their agency or remember the connection or remember the good outside without saying that's wrong, that's, but if someone starts talking like with certainty, or like, I found something and it's like the answer to everything. And yeah, you know what? I hate to tell you this, there's very little, if anything. I mean, to me, self-love and joy are the answer to everything, but really, there's very little to anything that's the answer to everything. We just want it so much that
Yeah.
we look for it. Yeah.
So is it safe to say that you've now spent more of your life outside of the cult than inside? Because I think I know
Well, yeah,
how old you
I
are.
turned
You're old.
62 a
Yeah.
couple. I turned 62 a couple weeks ago and I left in my, late teens, early 20s. So yeah, much more time outside. But for the longest time, I had no idea how it had affected me at all. And then I, got into Al-Anon and did a lot of recovery and a lot of therapy and worked through a lot of it, but really had no idea how it affected me deeply, like how it literally carved my brain. And then when the memoir was published and I found this community, it was like, whoa. And since then, it's been a huge amount of intentional neuroplasticity, excavation, lots of different processes to heal. You know what? The body really does keep the score. Like it really does. Like literally, when I found the began to find the depth of this molestation, there was a pain in my body that wouldn't go away. And it was like it was very soft, but it was so painful. I can't explain that. And when my therapist said, "What is it telling you?" and these two sentences came out of my mouth about it, and then it was gone, hasn't come back.
Mm.
right? Even I had to believe that. Exactly. I was like, okay, thank you. I can't say I made that up. Like clearly
Yeah.
there is something that like your body holds trauma. Yeah.
One of our first guests was Emily Mankey, and she was one of Larry Nassar's gymnasts, the
Mm,
famous
right. Yeah.
doctor. And it happened for her the same way, where she said she had suppressed it for so long, but when the articles started coming out about what was going on with him, it brought it all back. And it's incredible that your body can do that to protect you. But at
Beautiful.
some point, your body, like, when did that pain start? When did that pain start?
So this story is okay. So this shoulder has been wonky for a long time, and I especially remember it first feeling really wonky, sitting in the New Yorker hotel on the second floor ballroom with Moon speaking when it's like in my adolescence, like teens, whatever. But it's been a thing, whatever. But that day, I had already back to like 2009, my body started doing this weird convulsing thing. Um, and I went into therapy about it. And well, I'm just going to say, I came to the realization that my mother's boyfriend forced me to go down on him. And I kind of like everything I do, I just kind of put it over there. Like what with everything I got, don't really need to look at that one. Like I got a lot to go through. And and then this summer, I watched a great TV show, Dying for Sex, which is a very strange thing to watch as a cancer survivor, but it was very powerful. And I was in the midst of a cancer scare.
A second one after, so another one after.
Yes, yeah. Like the cancer was 2022, but this was a your last scan. We've maybe saw two things, and we need to wait some months to scan again. So I was in the midst
Waiting
of
period.
that.
I hate the
Was it
waiting
breast
period.
cancer? Breast cancer?
I had ovarian cancer.
Okay, got it. Okay.
I'm BRCA2 positive, so then they're like, and you might get breast cancer more than anyone else. I'm like, please take them away. Then I don't need them. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it was ovarian cancer. I am incredibly lucky in my unluckiness. I had stage 1C ovarian cancer, which does not happen, which is why I'm here 3 years later. But so I'm cancer free at this very moment, or I was 2 weeks ago, and I hope I still am. That's kind of the cancer mind, but I don't need to go there.
Okay.
Um, but so I'm watching this show, and the backstory of this show is that her mother's boyfriend forced her to go down on him. And I'm like, fine, universe, I will finally look at this. So I start going through this in therapy, and then one day I go to a myofascial massage, which is like kind of a deep, like
Mhm.
the fascial is the stuff that connects to your bones and stuff.
That's
So it's a
painful.
deep. No, this is different, but it's energetic and all the things. And she finished, and that's when it started. It was like this just very low grade pain that I wanted to cry. Like it was so bad, but it was like very light. And it was all day long, all day long, all day long. And it just so happened that I had therapy that afternoon. And so I told my therapist that, and she said, well what is it? You know, I do EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing, which is a kind of trauma work. And she said, what does it have to say? And one sentence came out of my mouth, and then the second sentence came out of my mouth. Don't need to tell you what they are unless you ask if you want to know. And it went away in an instant. And it has not come back since. So it was like, okay. And then more body memories and like memories. I mean, you have to be patient because, like, I know you can make things up. And I remember places and feelings and emotions
A
and
sentence
feel
just
things
popped
in my
into your
body.
mind. It was something were suppressing for years, or
Yeah, exactly. Out of my well, what popped like out of my mouth came, I was raped repeatedly. And I was like, who the said that? And
sure.
but the pain, like, I had
You were
no
holding
idea.
that experience in, no question. It was
I had no idea. I had no idea. And if you think like that happens, and then, I'm like 6 or 7 probably. 4 years later, 4 years later, we joined a puritanical cult,
mm,
right? And then, more than you need to know about me, but there were many, many off things around sex and relations, and I was emotionally incested by many older men and got blamed for being sexual when I was like all this stuff happened around that. And then I was best friends with one of my friends was like, "Why do you react that way?" I'm like, "You try growing up best friends with the Messiah's
with the
children."
royalty, sure.
And see
Yeah.
what it does. Like, yeah, it's but
Yeah.
beyond royalty. Yeah, like Prince William is great, but like the Messiah's children, who had no
And
rules
let me say,
whatsoever. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
safe to say, also professional people we're entangled in this cult as well. Doctors,
Yeah,
lawyers, engineers. Yeah, it wasn't
absolutely.
Like the congressional,
Yeah.
like, okay,
no, I'm saying it was fully legitimized.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that was fully legitimized. But yeah, anybody is susceptible. People gave up their practices, their law practices, law school. Yeah, absolutely. Because when you have the Messiah, what else matters? Really,
how
think
do
about it.
you, I mean, you're now, you mentioned you've got two children, you're married
Yes.
now. How do you get there, right? Like, so how does that, and like, I can only imagine being a wife now and being a mom and carrying all this trauma, it impacts those relationships, or maybe it makes you, look at things differently. But I don't know where my question is really here. But so I guess, how do you assimilate into the family life, white picket fence? We can see it behind you. It looks like if anyone looking from the outside would be like, wow, you live in a house with a porch and a white picket fence,
Green screen,
right?
green
But how do you
screen
do that?
Um,
daily.
One, well, that's a really interesting full question. So one, I really didn't know. And I am such a over, I had the
Analyzer.
ability to keep going no matter what.
Got it.
So I really had no idea about a lot of stuff. And I just, if you put it in front of me, I do it. I do it really well. It's to the death, kind of like it. So that over push, over perfectionist helps and it hurts. Um, when I don't know how I managed to be such a great parent to my kids. I'm very lucky. I healed by loving my children. That is all I have to say about that. Like I remember one time my older child ended up talking to my therapist and I was like, but I gave them a perfect childhood. And they're like, your trauma, their trauma. Like it's like generational, but you can't
Mm.
DNA act like nature and nurture. I can't help but pass on
Yeah.
what happened to me, but it's much. And my older child looks at me and says, you stop the disease. You stop the disease.
What age did you tell them what happened to you?
We had decided it would be 16, and then it was a little bit earlier for both of them. My older child, I was like, I kind of gave him the over. We're like driving. They're like, "Tell me now." I'm like, "Okay, here you go." Blah 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 blah. And at the end, they were like, "Okay, Papa." My dad. I kind of saw that coming because he still was whatever. They're like, Mimi? My mom. I'm like, I never saw that coming. I'm like, who expects to be told their parent grew up in a cult?
Because she's not, your
And
mom's
then
not in it anymore, right? Your mom is no longer part
yeah,
of
no. First I left, then my brother left, then my mom left. Yeah. 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 But so I mean, I did a lot of work, including realizing that I am not a white picket fence, like I mean, I love it. It's great. It's beautiful. But like, I mean, I did a lot of fitting in and then realizing I didn't have to fit in. Like it's been a lot, but I have been graced by whatever, really strong spine or the universe to not crash and burn. There's no reason I should be as functional as I am, happy as I am, but I've also worked really hard to slowly unravel, uncover, heal, heal. Yeah, yeah. And it is self-love, right? Which is why my keynote is first, most always, right? Love yourself. And there is a tattoo. Love yourself first, most always, because if I know anything, or at least I really strongly believe, I mean, so many of us are so hard on ourselves for so many reasons. You do not have to have a childhood that's weird enough to make a memoir like mine. Like I was just in the room on Wednesday and people were talking about the voices in their head and the way they hate themselves and the way they pick on themselves, right? We are all taught to do it in different ways. And yeah, when we learn to love ourselves, to me, that was, I mean, I had to get a lot of places to get there, but that is what really started to heal when I give myself the love that I did not get. And and again, when I love other people in the way that I did not receive, because I still have a very loving heart to a fault sometimes, then I heal myself. Yeah, which is why I will stand on stage and tell my story. If it helps one person, then that's why I wrote the memoir. If it helps one person, then it's worth it. Yeah, and it's helped more than one. So yeah, yeah,
They're right here. And you know what, I will tell you as a person who met you, months back, we're going to see each other again soon. Not soon enough,
not
but
soon enough.
yeah,
Yes.
not soon enough. But you feel that, like you radiate that love and that connection. And it just was, we were really lucky. We were at this conference, there was about six of us that just connected and just never met each other, but I could feel that from you, and I think you're doing that. Like that is coming, that comes off of you. So it's working
Thank you.
whatever you're doing. At what
Thank you.
point, with Bruce, did you explain to him what was going on in your world? Because that's and that just listeners who didn't hear it. That's Lisa's husband, who I know you talk about, in the book as well too, and talk about how, you know, he well maybe if I'm mixing up stories, whether we talked about it in person or there, but been a big foundation of you moving forward. But at what point meeting him do you share that?
Here's the thing. So my high school boyfriend was Adam, and got drunk at a party and kissed him, like never intending to go here, and ended up seeing him. And I was like, I have to tell him, I have to tell him, I have to tell him, I have to tell him. By the time I told him, someone had already told him.
Got it.
Same with Bruce. When I finally was like, I need to tell you this, we were he knew other people from my high school, and they pulled him aside and was like, Lisa's not Jewish, she's a Mooney. So I didn't get to, and even one of our early fights was when I was planning to tell his parents, like, Mooney dad, alcoholic, blah 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 blah, drugs. And he's like, oh, they know already. I'm like, what? Why do people keep telling my story and my secrets to other people as if that's okay? It's
Yeah.
mine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting. And I will say that my biggest carving, the way in my cult that I was raised, the combination of myself, everything that happened was not even no needs, no boundaries, no sense of what's okay or not okay to do to me, about me. If you think about everything that happened, it makes sense. We were literally, I don't know how well you know the Bible, but in the Bible, God tells Abraham he has to sacrifice his son, Isaac. He doesn't at the end, but right. But we were taught that Isaac knew that he was going to be killed, and so lay himself down
Mhm.
willingly to be killed.
Hmm.
I'm 10, 11, 12, 13, right? So my ability to survive is also based on my ability to like sense what's going on, read the room, give you exactly what you need before you even know you need it, right? And just overachieve, overachieve, overachieve. I call it my Mighty Mouse complex. And then my real healing when I was like, oh, wait. I used to say to my therapist, am I allowed to say that? Is it okay that I feel that way? Like, I really rewired all that stuff to be like, I know you don't like it, but actually, so I crawled into Al-Anon in 1986, and they have a saying, what other people think of me is none of my business.
Yep.
And
I
it was
love
earlier
that.
this year. Yes,
Actually,
earlier
now
this
that
year,
you say that, I know someone that used to say that all the time, and I'm like, I wonder if that's where they got it from. But go ahead.
40 years later, I'm driving to my myofascial massage, and all of a sudden I start laughing hysterically, can't stop. I'm almost crying because I'm like, oh, that's what they mean. It really doesn't matter. That's how well caught my brain was, right? It took, and even now I can be like, wait, wait, wait. No, actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't like that. Like, I'm not saying go be mean to people
Sure.
or go be mean or
Yeah, but
like
don't
I'm
worry
not
about
saying
what other
love
people
yourself
think
and
about
don't
you.
care about other
Yeah.
people. But if I do something and that person over there thinks it's the wrong thing to do, if it's not like illegal or immoral or unethical or really harming someone, they can
Yeah.
not like it. They can be mad at me. They can be mad at me when I say, no, I can't do that, or yes, I have to do this. Like, and that, even as I say it, I can feel my brain go, right?
But that
That's
theme,
that's
that
the
that's
way it was
why
carved.
like the Mel Robbins book, Let Them, is so
Yes,
positive because
that's
that's
it.
the
That's
concept,
exactly it.
right?
Let them
Like,
be mad.
yeah,
Let them.
yeah,
Let them not like it, as opposed to trying to convince them or win them
yeah,
over or explain or change.
yeah,
It's taken a long, I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, hell yeah, let them. But yeah, even when I was teaching it, I still didn't really
yeah.
get it. Yeah. So,
Wow. So what does
mm,
life look for you now? Like I know that you are a speaker and you work, like what
yeah.
types of audiences do you speak to? And, are you helping people that are in cults? Are you helping people that just are struggling? Like what is like, where are you at now?
So I also have a leadership consultant and executive coaching firm for the last 30 years. I've been told by a friend I shouldn't say that out loud anymore because I'm
Hi.
old. I
No.
think it's
Just say
cool.
just say 3 decades.
Yeah.
That's all.
3 decades, I know, for like 3 decades or so. So I'm also doing all of that and using all the teachings, all the learnings, everything in that work, and my story in that work. And so the audiences, I mean, it really spans. I mean, I will talk in front of cult survivors every time, or cult awareness every time. Haven't done a lot of that yet with the keynote. But it spans from, leadership team meetings to this was a like on Wednesday was an automobile distribution company that was celebrating Professional Women's Day, and on their website they have a page for equity inclusion where it says, I can't get the numbers right on a being live podcast, but like men 74%, women 23%, other 3%. I think that adds up. And I'm like, you're in the automobile industry. You have a place, they have non-gender bathrooms. You have a place for people who don't identify as male or female. They're like, yeah, they're coming, they're welcome to your speech. So that was that, right? That was where I was Wednesday. Leadership conferences, I've done like really, the thing is, it's a universal message. So I will start speaking as more as I can in associations and pretty much any place someone tells me, how about this? I'm like, I will try, because even the people that whomever you have in your heart, if you think, oh, if they love themselves a little bit more,
Hmm.
the world might be a little bit different.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. You definitely, it's so true. And I think it's incredible. And again, it just goes to show you that you never know someone's story, because literally meeting you, it was one thing that you said, and I was like, oh, wait, what was that? Hold on, let's get back there. But you would never know. And it's just
You would never know.
so
Yeah.
incredible. And reading your book, it's so just the way you wrote it, I could hear your
Thank you.
voice, which is really cool.
Thank you.
So, listener, the book is called To the Moon and Back, and it's by Lisa Kohn. It's amazing. It's an easy read. They can buy it. Where do you prefer they buy it, by the way?
I mean, I prefer they go on my website, lisacone.com, and you only have to know to spell Kohn with a K, Kohn. If you Google me, it's very hard to miss me. Because on my website, there's a link to take you to my local bookstore. So not only will I sign it for you, but you're supporting a local bookstore. But you can get it at Amazon and everything else. But in my absolute druthers, or go to your local bookstore and ask them to order it, and they will order it for you.
We have
So it's
friends,
not.
Cohn's, up in Massachusetts. Cohn's your married name, I suppose.
No, Cohn's my name that I grew up with. Absolutely, it's my
Well,
it's
how many
my it's
Cohn's are
my
out
name
there? Jack Cohn's been around for a while. A lot of any neighbors, friends up in Massachusetts?
with
Jack?
a K.
Yeah.
With a K. My cousin is up there, but she doesn't go by Cohn anymore. She goes by Star. But no, but yeah,
He may have
yeah.
been the next.
So
I want to see if he's the next, maybe the next Mooney. Who knows?
Well, and
I
then
don't know.
last question for you. So you probably
Yes.
have, um, a tricky relationship with religion, I would imagine. Like, 'cause it's got to be, you were one way and then it changed. And so it's probably like a little bit of a tricky relationship with religion. Where do you stand? And maybe you're not comfortable sharing, but I'm just going to ask, where do you stand now on religion, being that, like, what does that look like for you?
Well, first, you're going to give me to tell you what I think is the most incredible story that just happened yesterday. And then I will answer it fully, but it is religious based. So I am trained in coaching also energy and emotions, like deep emotions, like you can really quantum physics, just believe me, you can tune in and do all that. And I was on a Zoom call with a dear friend who's German and someone else who's Canadian. And I wasn't supposed to coach my German friend, but I did. We switched at the last minute. And I had just been in Germany for a coaches gathering. And while there, unbeknownst to me, we went to a concentration camp with I went with 4 Germans and 2 Indians, and I am of Jew. Like I don't identify. My relationship to Judaism is very weird, but I am of Jewish
Sure.
descent. My ancestors were killed and all that in the Holocaust. So, we had some conversations about it then. And so she started talking about hate and the hate that was in her. And she couldn't, why was this hate in her? And we went deep, 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 deep. And it became very clear to me. And I share with her that this was generational, right? Because in Germany, her generation, when they were young, they were taught like, you are responsible. It is your fault. Like, own the shame, own the guilt. And I think Germany did a bad service to the world in doing that. But that's my opinion. So anyway, so we start talking about this. And then like she's going deep and I'm going deep. And at one point I said to her, like, my ancestors are telling you this is it's not your fault that your country killed my people. And then I turned to her, I don't know if you know what yesterday was. I said, yesterday was Yom Kippur, which is the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. The holiest day. So I'm like, so I wasn't supposed to coach you. You're talking about hate. I take you to this part of the German um generational trauma of what they did, right? With my ancestors who were killed on the holiest day in the Jewish year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just happened. It was like
And it
happened.
just happened. Wasn't supposed to coach her. He was supposed to coach her. Last minute, we're like, Lisa, why don't you do this? She went to hate. This is what came up with me. It was what was going on. And yeah, so it was like, so what do I believe in? I believe in the universe. I believe in love. I believe in the energy that we all are. I used to say I can be in any house of worship, but I don't like them that much anymore because I think people, no offense to anyone who believes, I think faith is a beautiful thing. And I coach a lot of clients with their faith, around faith. I have faith, but clearly my experience is that faith can be twisted
Mhm.
to be used for power. And you see that too many places in too many ways. And faith can be twisted to use for hate. So it's a very, I firmly, my kid was like, you, because I text, I have to tell you my Yom Kippur story. And they're like, you have a healing Yom Kippur story? How is that possible? But like, but I really see, I say my God is love.
Yeah.
And, and I think most people who really have a strong faith, hopefully they have a faith in something that's
Well,
about
and there shouldn't be
love.
any conflict with that philosophy with any of the religions out there.
No, no. There's a conflict when it's about hate or when it's about
Sure.
judgment or when it's about
Mm.
therefore you are doomed to hell and I get to hate you. Say not be able to like not be able to talk about you, you shouldn't exist, you all that I have a problem with. When religion is used to cancel people
Hmm.
on any side, that
Yeah.
I have a problem with because I cannot believe that I have to believe that there's some essence of love,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it's
Because
that
we are all
radical
like that.
side of whatever someone's on, right? The radical side is
Yeah.
The abuse,
misinterpreting.
rather
Yeah.
it's the abusive
Yeah. Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And people say to me, well, how can people believe something like that? Like even just looking at our world today in politics and stuff. And I'm like, extremist belief is a beautiful thing for your brain. And then when you're whomever that leader says, actually the sky is yellow, you're like, you're right. Why did I call it blue all this time? Or wow, I still think it's blue. There's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
Those are your two choices.
Yeah.
You never will say, no, it's not, it's blue. Not if once you've carved into believing, you cannot, it doesn't happen. I mean, it's very hard for that to
I
happen.
thought you looked a
So,
little bluish.
What?
Sorry.
let's go on. It's
Anyway,
good.
well, Lisa, we have taken up too much of your time. I know you have a busy calendar.
Ah,
Your story is
yeah.
incredible. I'm so grateful that you sent me this. Thank you. I
You're
absolutely I'm
welcome.
to my dad, so now he can read it as well. Thank you for taking time and for now helping us kind of navigate our calendars back and forth. But thank you so much. You're an
Yeah,
incredible
thank
human.
you.
I'm so
Thank
grateful
you.
to know you, to be connected with you. I can't wait to see you in a few months. And I'm just grateful that you took the time to share, and hopefully your message, can resonate with someone who is maybe has a family member who's dealing with this or is
Yeah,
themselves or whatever. The more we tell the stories, and maybe it's just tell someone that listen, just what you see is not always what you get, and just ask even better questions and connect and learn stories because everyone's got their own crap going on. And the more that we know
everyone
about each other,
does.
the better we become a community. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean so we were just with a client the on Monday and Tuesday with really hard situation. And once they saw each other's humanity,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they could cross barriers, right? So it's yeah. So and I'm if people are struggling, I say please reach out. I'm easy to find. If you can spell Kohn with a K, Kohn, you can find me. So
Well, she got figured
do
out with the hearts were coming.
I don't know if it works on my side. I don't know why it's not working.
Uh,
Listener, we're
come
trying this thing where
on.
there was like hearts coming out. Now they're not. I don't know why.
No, they're not. I can also make like fireworks
I
sometimes,
know it
but
used
not,
to
now
work.
nothing
Yeah,
is
it used to
going.
work, but it's like through the Mac, but it doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, well, Lisa, thank you so much. I am
Thank
sending you
you.
lots of love. I cannot wait to give you a big hug
Okay.
in a few months. I
See you
appreciate
in February. Yeah. Yeah.
it, and thank you so much again. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Wonderful to meet you, Stan.
my
Thank you.
pleasure. Thank you for your sharing. Bye
All
bye.
right,
Absolutely. Take care. Bye.
bye. Wow.
It's nice to discuss deep thoughts with people because in the course of your regular day, everything is pretty much superficial.
A lot of it's super. How are you? Good. How
Well,
are
yeah,
you? Good. Feeling
but there's a
great.
balance though. You can't talk if you get too deep, people get turned off. But you have to touch upon these at some point in time.
Yeah.
It's more than just going out bowling or eating
Yeah.
or shooting pool or watching TV.
That's all important. All
All
right.
my favorite things.
I'm gifting this to you. You can read it. There you go.
It's me.
Yep. It's amazing.
Most people have
Although I think it's signed to me. It is. Oh, did she sign it? Yeah, she did. She signed it. She did sign it.
well, you see, it's like a check.
See, I can't wait to get to know you better. I love
You
it.
can sign it over to me.
I'm not signing it. You're giving it back to me. I want this back. All right, listener, thank you for being our guest. I mean, we're a listener. Oh my goodness. If you enjoyed this story, please share it. Go to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating. But if you want to be a guest and you've got a story to share, and listen, it can be anything. It could be about a funny story you had as a kid. It could be what you're doing now. Whatever it is, we are just here to tell the stories of everyone that it's walking in the world. And the more that we understand that, the more that we understand our things we have in common and the things that we have that are different, the better humanity will be for all of us. So no matter where you are in the world, we want to hear your story. Reach out to us at connect@jamiemarco.com.
And today, give yourself a hug. Woo, yeah.
Yes, yes.
I like myself.
All right, listener, thanks for listening.
Bye-bye. Hey, thank you for tuning into today's What's Your Story podcast.
To learn more or share your story, go to jamiemarco.com. That's www.jamiemarco.com. And we will see you next time.